Ready?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Introduction of board members and staff. I'm John Horner, board president, and then we'll move to my right.
Veronica Andrade, Board Vice President.
Hi, good evening. Sarah Northrop Gaddis, Board Clerk.
Good evening, welcome back. Jennifer Marquez, Trustee.
Oh, gosh, good evening. I keep wanting to say good morning. I say that to my kids every day, but good evening. It's evening time, and it's good to see you guys. I'm Rebecca Munson, Trustee.
Good evening, Nancy Altman, trustee. Y'all did a great job on the pledge. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Claudia Estrada, Executive Assistant to the Superintendent.
Good evening, Carmen Garcia, Superintendent. I'd like to address our Spanish-speaking community. Miembros de la comunidad, tenemos traducción simultánea. Por favor, hagan clic en el icono del mundo debajo de la pantalla. Gracias por estar con nosotros.
Good evening, Diana Jimenez, Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services.
Good evening, Kobra Chang, Assistant Superintendent for Business.
Hello, everyone. I'm Diana Taveras, Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources.
Thank you all very much, and thank you for joining us both in the room and on Zoom. Appreciate it. Item D, adoption of agenda. Do we have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Munson. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Vice President Andrade. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstaining? Seeing none, that passes unanimously by the 6 members present. And okay, very good. So then closed session action report. We have nothing to report from our closed session this evening. Item F is recognitions and presentations. Very thrilled and excited tonight that we will be recognizing our three most senior employees in each of the 3 bargaining groups for the Morgan Hill Federation of Teachers, the Morgan Hill Classified Employees Association, and the Morgan Hill Educational Leaders Association. So I believe we have a short presentation for this to get up on the screen. And then we have some nice plaques, and we're going to start with Ray Alvarez. Ray? And the Vice President will come around here and help me out with this. We have some plaques. Would you like to make any speeches, Ray? Please come up and give us a moment to recognize you. So this was formally presented at the welcome back to our staff earlier, but the broader community is not there. That was staff only. And since then, when these announcements went out on social media, the amount of positive feedback you and others got was just really tremendous and wonderful. So someone was like, wow, I was not expecting to see Mr. Ray, custodian at my elementary school back in 2010. Ray is an amazing human being. His kindness and care make him a favorite was all. Lucky to work with you at Walsh. And then thank you, Raimundo, for everything you do at school. So a lot of people you've made a huge difference for. You continue to do so. I think it's wonderful we're doing this here and now while you're with us. Not like as an exit, but as an ongoing thing. Hope to have many, many more years. So Vice President Andrade, maybe we have this mic and you can kind of also read into the record what this all says. Oh, this on? Yeah, there we go.
Okay, Morgan Hill Unified School District honors Ray Alvarez in recognition of 34 years of service, kindness, and care to the students, families, and staff at Martin Murphy Middle School and PA Walsh STEAM Academy. We thank you for creating a safe, welcoming space for our students to learn and thrive.
Okay, very good. You don't have to. It's all good. All good. Well, we have flowers. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, stick around. We're gonna have pictures and flowers and I think some cake. Is there cake coming? Yeah. So we'll have a little more. Okay. Next up, Mr. Buxer. found a way to get you to come to one of these in person instead of.
This is what it takes.
So, again, I mean, you've been with us in this district so long, best known for leading JAM, but that's not all you've done, but you've done it with great distinction. Congratulations to Patrick. He was my kid's only principal moving from El Toro to JAM. So some families that were with you early on and then followed you along. The JAM community is very lucky to have Patrick leading the way. And congratulations to Principal Buxer. I won't read the whole comments, but just you are appreciated and loved for the work you have done and the difference it's made in the lives of students and staff and families throughout this community is deep and long. You leave you have such a track record of accomplishment and support behind you. It's and keep going. Again, this is thank you. This is not goodbye.
I might just take that walk right out the door.
Okay.
Close the door, please.
You're not going anywhere. In recognition of 19 years of service, leadership, and mentorship to the students, families, and staff at El Toro Elementary and Jackson Academy of Music and Math and Music, we thank you for shaping the lives of countless students, educators, staff, families, and community members. Thank you, Mr. Buxer. And this is a little full circle moment because I don't know if you remember, when I left San Jose Unified, I had emailed Mr. Buxer, when he was the principal at JAM, and our daughter was attending, and I was like, any advice on how to get involved in the district and get hired? Like, you know, I'm kind of, so this is really, so thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
You want to say anything?
We're lucky enough to stand on the shoulders of those that come before us, and I just feel so blessed and fortunate for the people who I've had the amazing opportunity to share time with. And so God has truly blessed me, so thank you. Thank you.
All right, next slide. Mr. Garcia, a legend who needs no introduction. Good to see you again. So, note a few of the things people said about you, but shout out to Mr. Garcia, my sixth grade teacher back in the 70s. I think it was either 74, 75. I think you started with us in 74?
74.
Yes, this is one of your very first students. He was great. Congratulations on 52 years of teaching. From Laura Carey, our favorite teacher, my son's sixth grade teacher, and the absolute best, and others, you know, so grateful to have him last year. So we also at the staff welcome back heard a wonderful testimonial from one of your teachers who I recall you like you know said, keep dancing, young man. Yeah, that was a beautiful thing as well. So thank you so much. Veronica will read the formal part of your plaque, and then you have another chance to make a speech if you want.
Okay. In recognition of 51 years of service, dedication, and commitment to the students, families, and staff at Paradise Valley Engineering Academy, we thank you for transforming our students' lives for the better. Congratulations. I believe Laura Carey was Laura Gomez.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
yes.
my aunt. I didn't put her up to it. Yes. That
Yes.
Laura Carey Gamez was his first year. That's my aunt.
Wow. And don't we have at least one current teacher that was once one of your students?
Mrs. Barnes
Yeah.
on our site. I taught her when she was sixth grade.
Wow.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Mr. Garcia, do you want to say something?
I prepared something that's all right.
Please.
Teach us something. We all need to
Probably
learn.
read it. If you don't mind me reading it.
Not at all.
Yes, please do.
Okay. Reach in my back pocket here. All right, thank you. Thank you. So I worked hard and long on this because I wanted to have just the right words. So good evening, everybody. I am truly honored, deeply humbled to stand before everybody today. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude and appreciation for this wonderful recognition. I began in 1974 and September. If you, way back then, we started after the crops were picked. August wasn't even an option. When I was first hired by the Morgan Hill Unified School District, I remember that I was just simply grateful to have a job. I was just out of college and I was nervous, I was excited, when I landed the job in Morgan Hill, and I didn't know how my teaching would develop, but I was willing to give it a shot. And lo and behold, it didn't take long for this job, for me, to turn into a passion. It became something that I really, really took to heart. And it is this passion that continues to motivate me every single day to do what I do. I have the privilege to teach young minds. I have the privilege to challenge students to reach their fullest potentials. And I have the privilege to help students discover their strengths. Now, as educators, we all know that teaching is an art, but it's much more than an art. It is, like I said, it is a passion, but it's a gift. And it's a gift that allows us as educators to form meaningful connections with our students. It's a gift that allows us to earn the trust and the respect of our students. And it's a gift that allows us to create safe, welcoming, learning environments for all our students. And together, every year, we not only produce productive students, but we produce many memories. This year, the years have gone by quickly, and as you all know, I've taught over 5 decades, and I don't know where the years went. I came in 1974, and all of a sudden, this happened. But I'm truly grateful for the years that I got to work for Morgan Hill Unified, and at the end of each year, I am filled with a deep sense of satisfaction because I know that I've done my very best, to the best of my ability, to prepare my students to help them along their educational journey. And that sense of purpose, that fulfillment that I have inside, is what keeps my passion alive year after year. The 51 years went by so fast because I love what I do and I just don't pay attention the time that goes by. So in closing, I am profoundly grateful to the Morgan Hill Unified School District, the school board, and everybody else who had a part in this extraordinary honor and heartfelt recognition. Thank you.
Come around, we'll have some photos, some group photos. I see plates and forks. Is there any? Yes. Our 3 honorees come back up. You want to do it in front of the sign or where you want to?
Chuck, take a bite.
He wants cake. He wants cake. More cake.
First picture's then cake. It's like a. All right, you're the boss here.
Okay. All right, we usually go over here.
Over there?
Yes. Thank you. You can be in the middle. Yes. Please. Okay.
Honorary
Yeah, right in the middle,
here.
yes.
There we go.
Okay. Nancy.
There you go.
Where are you? Okay, this looks great.
Got us?
Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you. Anyone else? You got it? Congratulations.
I'm so glad we're not putting candles for Mr. Garcia's every year teaching position.
All right, it's 6:16. We're taking a cake adjournment for, we've got 9 minutes, so please, everyone here, come enjoy a piece of cake in honor of our honorees.
Oh my God, how cute. Your baby?
Yeah.
All right, at 6:25, I'll call us back to order. Thank you all very much. We're on agenda item G, approval of the minutes from the board meeting of June 24th. No one sent in comments or corrections, so not having received those, we have a motion to approve.
I motion that we approve.
Thank you, Vice President Andrade. Do we have a second? Second. Thank you, Trustee Altman. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So that's 5 in favor and 1 temporarily absent for the notes. Okay. Next, public comment and communications. I believe we have one request for public comment for items not on the agenda. Ms. Sonia Bennett, I believe you're here. Thank you for joining us. You have 3 minutes.
Good afternoon. I am so happy to be here for this brand new school year. It's so great to see all the teachers, staff, and students, and also being back here in the boardroom, seeing your beautiful faces, and seeing presentations like this. I wasn't planning on making it today because there's so many things on the calendar, but having these 3 individuals, I can't even speak after Chuck did, but going to Murphy when Mr. Alvarez was there, being at school with Patrick, with the 6th grader, being under Chuck's guidance at Paradise, is just such an amazing team, and we are so grateful. We are also grateful to be here in the 70-degree weather when it's 100 outside. I was driving down, picking up the kids around 2, 3 o'clock, and it was 103 outside. And I was concerned about the weather and the climate and what was happening during PE and recess. So I did ping Lene, and she's beautiful. She responded real quickly, and there's some guidance that the district does follow with when the kids are out and what they do. One thing I would love to happen is families being educated about this, the community being educated about this, also reminding parents to pack those water bottles. We as adults, I have my cooler right there. It's there, I can carry it, I have my ice pack, we're fortunate, but not everybody does. So if we even do like a water bottle drive, something like that, in addition to backpacks, making sure every student has these things so they aren't dehydrated. I know we have to do PE, but let's also be a little practical in terms of 101 degrees. Are we really gonna be on the blacktop? Because it isn't really 101 degrees, it's really 115 degrees on the blacktop. And also, we shouldn't be putting our yard duty and our PE teachers under that distress as well, especially during those 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock periods. That's only my suggestion, but education is the biggest thing on this in terms of educating parents and communities on what to do. I would also like to be, kind of really vocal about bus drop-off circles and crosswalks. There is a lot of pressure we need to put on the city in terms of making our streets safer. Every school site needs to be prioritized in this transportation plan. There is a great team at the city, and we just need to connect together with every school site to make sure things like painting the curbs red where they're pink, so parents don't park there during pickup and drop off, because there are blind spots and children are walking with their parents, and some children are not walking with their parents across the street. And it's very busy. It's very difficult for everybody to manage to get to school, to get to work on time. I know this is really obvious, but I think the biggest thing is we just need to all be working together. If there's a school site safety committee I can join, that would be wonderful. Just on a district level, I think other parents would love to join this as well. Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. Okay, we will close public comment and move on to other communications, starting with the superintendent report. Dr. Garcia.
Thank you, President Horner. We'd like to, I'm going to be including additional voices on my superintendent update today, beginning with Dr. Jimenez, who will give us an overview of our summer school programming.
We're going to get that up on the screen.
There you go.
Thank you, Dr. Garcia.
delayed.
Yeah, no, it's great. Thank you. Just a quick little update, right? We just finished summer school. So we had summer school from June 16th to July 18th. Really appreciate the work of Principal Carlson, right, for our elementary folks and middle school folks. So thank you to all the staff who gave up part of their summer so our students can have these wonderful units with science-based literacy, math units. We had YMCA, Amplify, lots of great services and lessons on dual language immersion. So that was great. Thanks so much for everyone who worked to make sure that our summer was enjoyable and kids are doing a lot of great learning. At our high school program, our principal was Fernando Camargo, and we had a lot of students enrolled in our summer school program. We had some online classes and some in-person classes, so that was exciting too. That was by demand, right, by both counselors and staff, so that was great to produce. And just giving you a little snippet, we had about 2,520 credits recovered, so it was very successful. Glad that students have opportunity to make up those courses and get ready for that A through G. If you can go to the next slide. And then some of our students participated in the Silicon Valley Tech Academy. We've done this in the past. So in partnership with San Jose State, we have about 70 students who participate in this 2-week academy, and they did Tech 3, where they learned all about robotics and Python and some coding and some AI blended in there. So very grateful for the opportunity to have 7th and 8th graders and start that journey early, which is really important as they move over to the high school, right? It opens the door for opportunities and what they could be able to take once they get to high school.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jimenez. And on the business services end, the team has been incredibly busy, and so we're delighted to give you an update on our completed projects through Measure G. Thank you, voters, for approving Measure G. Also, our facilities team, led by Ricky, and our OPSC reimbursement and Measure G projects overseen by Director Andrade. I'd like to hand it over to Assistant Superintendent Clovera, who will ask the team to come up and help you co-present.
Thank you, Superintendent Garcia. Before I start, I just want to give a quick shout out to our bonds, facilities, and also the IT team who were able to complete these amazing projects in such a short window. As you know, summer is very short nowadays, so to get all these done is amazing. So with that, we'll start with Britton Gym. As you can see, this amazing, beautiful gym was completed on time, so kids can start to enjoy using that at the beginning of the school year. So we're very excited about that. Next slide, please. Also at Bryn is the demolition of the former Building C. By the end of the month, that area should be paved, and there's going to be some additional play area. There's going to be basketball. There's going to be a soccer play area. Pickleball, from what I hear as well. So a lot of excitement at Britton. So we're looking forward to that. Next slide, please. Also at Britton, they received in their parking lot a new slurry and also restriping of the parking lot. And also adjacent to the Face Center, they received the same work as well. Next slide. At Martin Murphy, there was a lot going on there. The whole school was painted. The admin building received an upgrade, and new fire alarms were installed there. And all these funds were being funded by OPSC and Measure G. Next slide, please. At Walsh, the whole school also received a new paint job. They all received new tables for their lunch right underneath the shade. And also worth mentioning, soon to come is the replacement of the Kinder's play structure. So very excited about that campus as well. Next slide, please. At the community adult school, the roof was redone, and they also received a new HVAC system. So in time for this hot weather. Next slide, please. And then at Live Oak, the parking lot was resurfaced and also restriped there. Next slide. And last but not least, and probably not the most sexiest project, is the is the data center and server backup. A year ago, our IT infrastructure were end of support and end of life. So we're very fortunate that we have something that's more sustainable going forward. So we're excited about that. So thank you. I think that concludes.
If I may add, deep appreciation to our facilities team and also our bond team. I know both of you didn't stop working, and you also have an incomplete team. So I want everybody to acknowledge your hard work and your dedication to our schools and to our community. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Have a second piece of cake. You need the energy.
We also launched our huddle, which is our management retreat. And we had a 3-day session, 1 day with all 64 members and day 2 and 3 with our leaders of our school sites. We are reading as a team, The Beekeeper to Leadership Fable. And we were able to work with our teams on various strategies with respect to UDL, Universal Design for Learning, among other things. Also, I know that you've heard me present about our burgeoning partnership with San Jose State University. We're beginning that process with Monterey Bay as well, and so this is one of the vice presidents of Monterey Bay, and we're hoping to tap into Monterey Bay with 4 dual enrollment courses, similar to what we're doing with San Jose State. We are offering 1 dual enrollment course with San Jose State with math specifically. We're starting small and hoping to add to the repertoire. And so Monterey Bay is very open to partnering with us, and we have other ideas to continue to partner to make the university reality, to bring it down to the high school level. So deep appreciation to Cal State Monterey Bay. We also welcomed, this was last week, correct? I'm like, have lost my sense of time. This was last week, yes? My gosh. So that was on Monday. We had our all-staff welcome back event, whereas President Horner mentioned we had an opportunity to thank our 3 most senior employees, in addition to all 850 members who are the heartbeat of our school district and who every day show up to make sure that our students are successful. So deep appreciation to all 850 members. We also had a summer school graduation. So the summer school program that Dr. Jimenez highlighted, that helped us push 5 students over the line. It's never too late to cross that finish line. Only 4 students were able to attend. The 5th student was not able to attend, but again, it took an entire village of support to ensure all students reach that milestone. And we're off. So that was last week. So these are, I visited every school. I wasn't able to visit every school on day 1, but I did visit every school. And so here are just some pictures that I took. Lots of happy, smiling faces. Just a handful of parents of kindergartners and TK parents who shed some tears. But aside from that, it was a joyful experience for all. And these are additional pictures from other sites as well. We're also, as a school district, part of South County Youth Task Force, and it's a South County effort that includes Morgan Hill Unified, Gilroy Unified, the City of Morgan Hill, the City of Gilroy, the DA's office, Sheriff's Office, Morgan Hill PD, Gilroy PD, and many dozens of other agencies meeting to brainstorm, to look at data and to make some decisions that can support our youth in South County. And so I really appreciate, and also Supervisor Arena sits in on South County Youth Task Force. So that there's a lot of brain trust in the room, and our ultimate goal is to make sure that we support our youth. We had a back to school night last night at El Toro. My goodness, was it incredibly popular. The NPR is always full, and I never make it in time to go inside because it's full. So I wait outside. Regardless, I was able to visit every classroom, and you see the students and the parents engaged, lots of happy faces. If you want to look at the bottom right, you're gonna notice someone. Assistant Superintendent Chang, his daughter attends El Toro. She's in kinder. And then lastly, this is the timeline for a student board member. We typically seat the student board member and the alternate student board member in October. Last year, there was a request to move that timeline up, and we've done so. So we've released the applications. We released them July 31, but prior to the release of the applications, we actually sent an email to all students earlier in the summer, letting them know, here's a timeline, and this is when we're releasing the application. We released the applications. We asked the students to complete the application by August 19th by 8 a.m., and we had a total of 5 students submit it, and all 5 students were moved forward to the next step. which is to complete their candidate statements and their videos. Those are due by this Friday at 12. And the district-wide election will take place August 25th through the 29th. Students at Live Oak, students at Sobrado, and students at Central will participate in the election. And the first official meeting for the student board member and the alternate student board member will be September 4th. I keep saying September 2nd, but it's September 4th. It's our first meeting in September. No, sorry. I will be meeting with them on September 2nd, and then they'll be seated on September 4th. So that's a timeline, and we're excited to welcome our student voices on this panel, on this dais. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Garcia. Okay, we'll move on to employee group reports, starting with the Morgan Hill Federation of Teachers, represented by President Q.A. Nguyen. Mr. President.
I know it's a little weird because I'm a millennial and I have a laptop and not like a printed piece of paper, but I swear I have my speech ready. Good evening, board trustees, executive cabinet, and community members. First, I want to congratulate to Ray, Pat, and Chuck Garcia. Oh, Chuck Garcia is gone. He's here for 50 plus years, and in my speech, I said I'm here for 12 years, and that's like a drop in the bucket of him. Like I just got my student loans like forgiven. So, anyways,
Congratulations.
Thank you. My name is Q.A. Nguyen, and I'm honored to be the newly elected president of the Morgan Hill Federation of Teachers. I want to begin my first MHFT time at the mic by introducing myself to not only the Board of Trustees who might not know me, but also the community members who might not know me. I have been an educator for 12 years, all those years in Morgan Hill and at the Live Oak High School. I coined that, by the way, just to let you know. I've taught different courses like AVID, so Advancement Via Individual Determination, SADAI, specifically designed academic instruction in English, AP English courses, and even AP Psychology for a year. I have held many positions, both for the district and in the Federation during my time here, and I promise you that's not a humble brag, but I wanted to tell you that because I am an educator first and foremost. And I represent 400 plus members in MHFT that are also proud to call themselves educators. I would also like to honor my MHFT officers who are also elected last spring for the next 2 years. So Jen Clem Myers, she works at Barrett Elementary School, and she is now our MHFT Vice President at Large. Jen has been an educator for 25 years, all of which have been dedicated to MHUSD. Teresa Colbert, she's also at Barrett Elementary School. She is the MHFT Vice President of Elementary, and Teresa has been an educator for 31 years, almost as long as I've been alive, 22 of those being dedicated to MHUSD. Avery Unterreiner, Ann Sobrado High School educator and MHFT Vice President of Secondary. Avery has been an educator for 9 years, all of which have also been dedicated to MHUSD. Then we have Jan Skapik. She's at Britain now, and she is our MHFT secretary. And Jan has been an educator for 30 years, 25 of those being dedicated to MHUSD. Lori Shoemaker, to round it out, she works at PA Walsh STEAM Academy, and she is our MHFT treasurer. Lori has been an educator for 19 years, all of which have been dedicated to MHUSD. Along with our elected officers, we also have our office staff who work in the union office part-time. They are Avery Unterreiner, Jillian Ray, Lori Shoemaker, and myself. Additionally, we are in the process of nominations and elections for the 25-26 site representatives and alternates. Now I want to shift the focus to our MHFT members. I know that they are hard at work and brimming with excitement as schools are reopening. The classrooms and school sites are filled with educators who are creating safe and brave spaces for our students to thrive in. I also know that they are spending time beyond what is required of them to not only plan their daily lessons, but to also plan for field trips, sports, clubs, organizations, and much more that their students are eagerly looking forward to. I can guarantee you that they are working tirelessly to make sure that when families walk on their campuses, whether it's in the morning to drop off their students, in the afternoon to pick up their students, or at back to school nights, you have listed in your board agenda for this evening, the families know that their children are welcomed and embraced with open arms. In order to support the transition back to school, I do want to point out some areas that my colleagues hope to see to run smoother next year. First, the accuracy of assignments and mandated trainings has room for improvement. We ask that more time and effort is put into ensuring that only those which are necessary are included on the list, as this year, some inaccuracies occurred and certificate employees had 6 or more hours, depending on their position, to complete on their own time without any form of compensation at this point. Second, the availability of materials in elementary has also room for improvement. We ask that more time and effort is put into ensuring that all curriculum will be at sites on or before the first day of school, as this year ordering was delayed and many are still waiting for things to arrive. Third, the communication and rollout of extra duty stipends in secondary has also room for improvement. We ask that more time and effort is put into ensuring that our members who are receiving these stipends are sent contracts that are accurate and in a timely manner, as this year, many are still waiting for their stipends to be approved, although their responsibilities and coaching seasons have already begun. Additionally, while teachers are working ceaselessly to plan engaging activities within their PLTs, I want to also note that we are also backwards planning how to fit in the daunting district-wide assessments that are required of us and our students, especially for elementary. TK, and for those kiddos, TK is required to complete ESGI or Learning Genie testing for both literacy and math 4 times this year. Kindergarten is required to complete iReady for both literacy and math 3 times this year. Haggerty Phonics screening 4 times this year. Multiple reading difficulty screenings once this year, and literally reading assessment once this year. First and second are required to complete iReady for both literacy and math 3 times this year. Haggerty Phonics screening 3 times this year, literally reading assessment 3 times this year, and multi-twos reading difficulty screening once this year. Third, fourth, and fifth are required to complete iReady for both literacy and math 3 times this year, literally reading assessment 4 times this year, and state testing in the spring. For secondary, they are required to complete iReady for both literacy and math 3 times this year, and state testing this spring. And this does not include the specific grade level additional testing requirements, like the science test in 5th and 7th grade, the fitness test in 5th and 8th grade, the Healthy Kids Survey in 5th, 7th, 9th, 11th, as well as the specific population additionally testing requirements like PSATs, advanced placement testing, English learner and special education testing, nor the frequent and common formative and summative assessments given to all graders for all subject areas. As much as I love a data spreadsheet, and while I understand the importance of assessing our kids and how as a district we should be data-driven, it is important to note that test fatigue and burnout is real, and that students are excited to come into our classrooms to learn with their teachers and classmates, not to get constantly tested by a computer. Finally, I want to extend my gratitude on behalf of the MHFT negotiations team to the MHUST negotiations team, as we reach tentative agreements on all open articles in our contract. The joint communication we sent out was, in fact, not a joke or an error. We did spend 13 hours straight in a summer session in a little room that I like to call the onion room now, in order to make this happen. I am hopeful that MHFT members will be voting yes on the ratification ballots that run next week. And while we made some great strides in lots of areas, such as special education, I want to note that the cost of living in the Bay Area and health insurance are rising every single year, regardless of the district's budget crisis. We hope to see this accounted for during this year's negotiation cycle. I close with this, and I really, really mean this. As an educator in Morgan Hill Unified School District, I am proud and honored to be here. This community is my community, and I want to serve this community. And I know that MHFT members feel the same way. I hope that this year and the years to come will be filled with transparent and honest discussions, open and frank dialogue, and that we see each other as collaborators, advocates, and allies. That we all want children and our community of Morgan Hill to succeed and thrive. We cannot do this without each other. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome and thank you. Okay, now for the Morgan Hill Educational Leaders Association, Patrick Buchser,
In person.
live. He's not Memorex, he's live. For those of you old enough to remember that.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Patrick Buchser. I'm a Morgan Hill Educational Leadership Association president. And QA, I'm not a millennial, but I did prepare as well. So, you got it. First of all, I would like to recognize and thank all the honorees tonight. We had a wonderful administrative huddle welcoming our new administrators to our school district. The focus of our huddle, like our superintendent said, was around universal design of learning, UDL, inclusion, and rightful presence. So we had the opportunity to reflect on our own stories and passion and keep us grounded why we went into schools and the importance of our influence as leaders. We then moved into an amazing district professional development, which also focused on universal design of learning, UDL, in addition to multiple offerings in the afternoon for exercising the talent of all of our certificated and classified members to support learning with each other. So from phonics all the way to high school advanced physics. So it was a huge, huge lift for many folks who presented. Then back to the schools where the sites had their PDs, and the professional development from all the principals to staffs, with staffs, helped to resonate the direction of where we're going with student engagement connected with our work on and learning with universal design of learning, all under the umbrella of a PLC. So congratulations to all of the maintenance, facilities, grounds, transportation, food service, office staffs, classified, certificated, everybody who put boots on the ground to make the schools look clean, organized, and prepared for kids to come on a Thursday. It was a Thursday. It was last Thursday. So I've been in school for 1 week. Yes, and but it's a lot of heavy lifting to get to that point. Starting is the most exciting of anything. I love it the most, and so it's beautiful to see everybody come back and get energized and walking through the classes and seeing the learning. And so with that said, we are all in our schools right now PBISing the schools strong and hard, a strong tier 1 approach toward rituals and routines, expectations, communication, modeling. It takes 7 times to learn something the right way and 21 times to unlearn something taught the wrong way. So we can either pay now or pay all year. And so right now we've been in school for 1 week. Today's day 5, a couple more lessons to cement it in. So anyway, it's the teachers, the adults, the office staffs, the adults are PBISing adults as well. So we have to practice and look in the mirror ourselves around our professional practices so that we can always be the best. And so that's just important. The start of everything is very, very important as we start this journey. And finally, a lot of great back to school nights coming up. I know Joe at El Toro already had his, and these come on quick. So they're on your calendar, and that is also a time for community and parents to learn about expectations and opportunities throughout the year. And finally, Mahela had a very successful meet and confer. It did not last the onion room hours, but we did get it done very quick. I wanted to thank our Human Resources Assistant Superintendent and our Mahela Executive Board, which is myself, Joe Ganan, who's our Vice President, Julie Aguirre Jacinto is our Secretary, and Mickey Valeja is our Treasurer. So there's your Mahela Executive Board. And that is it from Mahela. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Buchser. Much appreciated. We will not have a report from the Morgan Hill Classified Employees Association this evening. I believe they're in the middle of voting on ratifying their agreement. So wonderful to be starting off the year so close to having all the agreements in place. That's a wonderful thing. Okay, board members, anyone care to make a report? What I did on summer vacation? No. Please.
Last night, I was at the Personnel Commission meeting, and and they Messia did talk about that they were going to be voting tonight. Let's see, there are only 6 para vacancies, so that's very exciting. Hiring is going great. And they're just continuing their review and update of rules and regs.
Thank you very much. Thank you for participating, and thank you for that report. Others? Trustee Altman, please.
Earlier this week, I attended virtually basically an infomercial for something that I think we might be interested in, and that's it's Workforce Housing Boot Camp put on by CSBA. On October 15th, there is a one-day session at SCOE from 9 to 4, and it basically covers, if you're interested in workforce housing, what you need to know, and gives you direction in getting started. It does cost $500. I think I would be interested in attending. It's intended for school board members, for superintendents, assistants, soups, those who would be involved in workforce housing, which can provide an income stream to a school district. It can very much be a win-win. So I would be interested in going, if anyone else would be interested, and if the board's okay with the $500 tuition per person who attends. That's one thing I did. Another thing, since Dr. O'Brien's in here and since Mr. Buxer was talking about UDL, I attended a training, just not through the school board, but on Goalbook, which has a ton of resources for using UDL in the classroom. And so if anyone on the education end would like to pick my brain, I'm offering my brain for picking, since it's a resource we have, and it's not something gen ed teachers see. So that's my report.
Thank you very much. This is a point of information. So, we can't make any decision on items not on the agenda, but I can state just again for the record that any CSBA professional development for board members, such as you mentioned, is kind of in the pre-approved. It does not need individual board action. That's as far as part of our policy. So I would suggest just discuss with staff, how to put that into practice. But different districts have slight variations on policy around that. But in our district, CSBA and CLSBA, professional development opportunities specifically for board members, as long as it fits within our overall, there is a board budget that's part of the budget process, but you don't need to come for individual, can I go to this thing? Some districts you do. So it's just a point of information. And I went to something similar at SCOE last year. It was free then, so hopefully it's gotten better since then. Okay, other reports? Anyone? Vice President Andrade?
Okay, I attended the National Night Out at the city.
City Park or
City
whatever they
Park, yeah, library.
Civic Park? They call it something like that.
That on Peak Avenue. And so what was really great about that is I attended to hand out backpacks as part of Cecilia's Closet, and we distributed 1,008 backpacks. All of them were distributed. I think there was only a plan just to distribute what was on the tables, but the kids kept showing up and we kept handing out. So that was really great. The kids were really excited. And so, it's kind of exciting in terms of backpack. And I know a couple of there are some other efforts locally with community solutions. They're also doing backpack drives. I've been looking at that online. So there's a lot of information out there.
Very good. Thank you. That's a fun thing to do. Anyone else? Seeing no others, I'll make a brief report for myself then. I was very lucky to go, was it just last night, El Toro's back to school night? I feel like I'm in the same time warp. Many of us like, what happened when? Just delightful to see this, so many parents and the teachers and other staff there, just the feeling and energy was just so positive, and some a little nervous, it's normal for folks, like how's this going to work? But just a very, very positive and welcoming atmosphere, and I enjoyed getting to feel some of that. Also had a chance to attend the district staff welcome back. That was also amazing. We heard some great things from students, some great performances, very inspiring, very uplifting. And,
Our new president talked about working together for common good and common goals, and I really felt that in that room that day. Let's keep that going in every room all year long. That was really a joy to participate in. Also, was a substitute for the South County Youth Task Force outside committee. I'm not usually on, but I got to do that yesterday. I'm really having trouble with time. And the work that group has continued to do, particularly around youth diversion. These are youth that are their first time in contact with law enforcement for something that, that might start a police record. There's an opportunity, as long as it's not violent, there are criteria around it. It can't be a repeat offense, can't be violent, can't have a weapon, these kind of things. But to go into a program where they're getting mentoring and assisting and support and people working one-on-one. And there are now hundreds of youth in Morgan Hill and Gilroy since 2022 or 23 this started? 23, yeah, that have been in the program. The classes that have completed have a 90% graduation rate. And graduation means they've done all the requirements to end up not with a police record. And then of those, over 85% have not reoffended in any way. So when you talk about criminal justice or corrections, that's what you're trying to do. Like have one contact with that system, figure it out, and not be going back. It's just a tremendous program. It's very innovative and unique. I think in the county, South County is the only place we have this at such breadth and depth with both cities, both school districts, all the 3 different police departments, the district attorney, all involved, nonprofits providing the counselors. The only downside of being relatively new and innovative is it doesn't have a permanent budget. So one of the challenges there right now, things tend to well, if you've done it forever, people try and keep doing it. If it's relatively new, when money is tight, do we need to do that? It's just sort of the natural way people think. I think that's unfortunate. So won't get into all the details of state and federal and all the bureaucracy and so, but there is a funding crunch for that effort right now. I certainly, and there's a call to each of the participating entities to put up a little money, like $20,000 or $30,000 to keep that going. I'm very supportive of that. I individually, it's something that would be a contract the superintendent, could accept or deny, and encouraged everyone involved. Keeping these young people on the road to productive adulthood, not criminal adulthood. I mean, if they go that other way, the cost is astronomical. I talked to someone after the meeting, said the Boys Ranch, the extreme case affair, it's $1 million a year to have a young person, per year, to have somebody at the Boys Ranch. So let's do what we can earlier. So it's not only just for me, it's not just a matter of art, not sending young people down this road. That's just good. I will proudly call myself a bleeding heart liberal in that regard. But even just from straight economics, invest upfront, whether it's tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, all the ways we talk about it. So I was honored to get a chance to be there and see that work and offer my personal support for moving that forward. Then in other kind of whole different story, I also participate in the Chamber's Economic Development meeting. Didn't have a strong education focus this time around. A lot of it was about local businesses coming and going. There's a lot of turmoil, if you haven't noticed. Restaurants coming and going, Rosso's, longtime large business in both Gilroy and Morgan Hill, shutting down. There's some new things coming in. That day we heard from Grocery Outlet, who was there, new business in town, which I went and checked it out. I won't make a commercial announcement, but I'll be back. So there is a lot of churn in the business community everywhere from a lot of different factors, and it goes way beyond the internet. There's a lot of things going on. So just trying to stay aware of what's going on in that part of our community. And then I'll touch on the County School Board Association, been active over the summer in a couple groups, planning different kinds of professional development and connection. We've been invited to the Silicon Valley Education Foundation. They're going to have their 4th annual all-day event there, and our group, the Legislative Action Committee, will be leading one of the breakout sessions there. We're figuring out exactly what the content is going to be, but the group that's been doing this community work and county work and state work is now become well enough known and respected. People are like, can you come talk to us about what you're doing and how you're doing it and why you do it? And so we'll be doing that there. We're doing a different version actually at the California Latino School Board Association thing coming up here just a couple weeks. So we'll be leading a session there. And then a different group, there's going to be doing a convening on unhoused students and bringing together schools and county people and city people. A lot of people do a lot of work with people who aren't housed, but the interconnection is always a huge challenge. So we're also in all these things trying to be proactive in the moving across the typical silos. Everybody talks about how bad silos are, then they go back and put a better foundation under their silo. So that's stay tuned. As board members, you'll get announcements of when these various things are. The County School Board Association, when we have gatherings of this kind, they're either free or like 10 or 20 bucks to cover the light food. So it's very inexpensive, but worthwhile. And that concludes my report. And you have a question or our report? Please.
So during, just wanted to clarify, so in July, to the community members, in July, board has recess, and so we kind of just don't check our email and things like that. And so as you all know, we lost a student over the summer. And so I wanted to briefly mention that John and I actually attended the candlelight vigil. There was a series of events that happened at the community center downtown to honor Marissa. And so I want to just kind of bring up a couple of things that were talked about. There was a lot of discussion that took place that evening, and one of which was, what is the role of schools when we talk about what a healthy relationship looks like? Because Marissa's sister, there was a testimony there, very, very powerful about, children grow up in environments and that becomes their norm. And so what is the role of the school system in letting them know that that is not healthy? And so we had a great presentation through Community Solutions in which we had to go through the steps of what is a healthy relationship. And so we started asking the question, how can we somehow do an assembly or do something where we're educating our secondary, make sure it's grade level appropriate, but have some type of an assembly or some type of event at the schools in which every student kind of goes through what is a healthy relationship, what is appropriate and what is not appropriate, and most importantly, what resources are out there. And so there was a lot of discussion that took place. Nothing was finite. I know there's Dory is still putting the notes together. My last correspondence with her was she was still putting the notes together, but I wanted to bring that to the board's attention. So maybe we can have those discussions as we, that's it. Oh, and
I appreciate it.
Trustee Altman.
Thank you. Trustee Altman, please.
So last year, when we adopted the health ed curriculum, healthy relationships is one component. And when we were touring Britain in the spring on our visit, that was actually what was being taught when we went into the classroom. So it's absolutely an imperative topic, I think, and part of health. And the curriculum we chose does have that component also. But I'm not downplaying the need for a more broadcast, but it's nice to know at least it is being addressed with our students.
Yeah, thank you. Just on that, there certainly was no presumption that we're not doing meaningful things. It's just when you face the, somebody dies due to partner violence, a young person that was just one of our students, what more can we do is the question, not that we're not trying.
And on that note, I do want to add again, we were on recess, and so there were multiple board members that were on vacation and whatnot. And so I know there were some emails that came through about what are we doing and what is the district's response. And I think this occurred when you were out of the country, if I'm not mistaken. So I just wanted to bring that up.
More to come on that topic. Okay, anything else on board reports? Seeing none, thank you all very much. Is this working? Yeah. Calendar of upcoming events is published. I'm not going to bore us all by reading it. I will note that since it was first published, one more item has been added onto the electronic calendar of our upcoming board retreat in early September, which will be on the topic of the work on developing the superintendent's goals for this coming year. Okay. That closes communications. Now we're on to J, consent items. Do we have any requests to pull for discussion or comment on consent items?
JC1C, please. The business services contracts.
There are four under that. The lease agreement, the resolution.
C, just ratify
Oh, okay.
contracts executed pursuant.
Okay. The contract's under a certain amount. Okay, 1C. Any others? Then do we have a motion to approve the remaining consent items?
I so move.
Thank you, trustee Altman. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, trustee Munson. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? Okay, that passes unanimously by those present. So trustee Altman, you wanted to discuss item 1C, contracts.
Yes, and specifically for the July contracts, the contract for $90,000 with DS&C, which is, what's that, Derek Scott and Company? I don't know what the D is. Dale Scott and Company. Looks like this is looking at the feasibility of some type of ballot initiative, which, and in the past I said I'm in favor of discussing. I would just as soon not spend money on it. And since we as a board haven't discussed it, I'm not all that crazy about seeing that we're now $90,000 in. We had a similar contract, maybe spring of 23 or 24, a survey was conducted. I know my husband took it in the community just to get a feel for interest in a bond. And as a board, we never got the results of that. So I think it's really imperative that we get the results of whatever comes out of this contract. And if we are looking at a bond that, or something on the ballot, that there's so much context going on with so many agencies that this should be a topic we have, but we also, it's essential we get the information and that it does, because it was either $25,000 or $40,000 that we spent before for a survey and we never saw it. So I think that's why I want to talk about it.
All right, would Assistant Superintendent Chang or Superintendent Garcia like to address this item?
The contract with Dale Scott, it's not just to prepare for a potential GO bond, which is the facilities update, so akin to Measure G. It's also looking at a potential parcel tax, the financial planning of such. And so this contract is much more comprehensive. Dale Scott is pretty exceptional, and I would say the best in his field. And it's imperative that we look at the whole picture of, and to give the board options because ultimately the recommendation, whether to go for a GO bond, general obligation bond, or a parcel tax, you all will have to give us direction on that or not. And so Dale Scott will be able to help us with that. In addition, using his financial consulting background, he also advises districts on refinancing some of the various series when we issue bonds. And in refinancing, we're able to save the taxpayers lots of money. And so I'm actually excited to bring Dale Scott on board. He will be thorough and he will be a true partner in our efforts to give the board as much clarity, as much information, as much detail on whether to proceed with a bond, proceed with a parcel tax, both or none of the above. And so it's important for us to give you that information.
Assistant Superintendent Chang, I've had some discussions with staff on this item before, over the summer, just because I was curious and called. I think you have some previous experience with this consultant. Maybe you could speak to that?
Yes, Dale Scott is a very reputable firm who's worked with a lot of school districts, not only in Santa Clara County, but just across the state itself. He was that was the firm that actually was the pioneer of workforce housing in working with, I believe it was Jefferson High School, to come with a model, a funding model that makes sense to be able, for them to be able to fund a project as workforce housing and have a mutual benefit for both the district and the staff. And so I've had experience working with this firm at my previous districts, and I have the utmost confidence that he would be able to support our efforts in both the bonds and the parcel. One thing to note is that the $90,000, we haven't spent any money yet. That is a not to exceed amount. And so in the contract, there's a variety of services that they only get paid if we ask them to do so. For example, let's say a voter survey. If we don't need that, then we wouldn't be paying for that. And a lot of his services is on a contingency base. And so if we were to put a ballot on the, or measure on the ballot, if it doesn't get paid, if it doesn't get passed, then he doesn't get paid as well. So a lot of his work is based on, things moving forward. So that's my last comment.
So you're saying in the case of this approval, it wouldn't be billed all at once? You have milestones or deliverables, or maybe you can help us understand a little bit more about the structure of the contract?
Yes, so let me just give an example of a bond measure. Let's say we put a ballot on, or a measure on the ballot, and it doesn't get passed. Then there would be no bonds issuance. In the event that it gets passed and we end up issuing bonds, that's when the firm gets paid, and it gets paid our bond dollar. And the intention of that is to make sure that we're protecting general fund dollars and using bond dollars to pay for these services to be able to continue to improve our facilities.
If I may add, the firm is based out of the Bay Area, closer to San Francisco. And as Assistant Superintendent Chang mentioned, Dale Scott did support Jefferson High School District with the first workforce housing. But he's done that with many other districts, but not as a cookie cutter. It's more, he tries to understand, first does his research on the community, what the community's wishes are, and really tries to meet the demand or the requests or the asks of the community. He works in many districts up and down the state of California. I don't know if he works outside of the state, probably not, but his reach goes all the way down to San Diego County. He works with the San Diego County Community College District and other districts in LA, and obviously here in the Bay Area.
Okay, so Jefferson Unified School District, that is the workforce housing that we toured, correct? Yeah. And they also, I believe he helped them with then that particular body of work, but also to that other property that they are looking at. And they just did an RFP for developer on an abandoned high school site, if I'm not mistaken. Is that the Jefferson USD?
Yes,
Okay.
that is the place, yeah.
Trustee Altman, please.
Yeah, my issue has nothing to do with who the contractor is. It's just that this is a discussion I had thought we were going to have before we committed funds. And so that's why I called it out.
So
Understood,
this is an item that has stayed on our board member requested items for quite some time for the board for staff to do its research on a potential bond and a potential parcel tax. And so Assistant Superintendent Chang and I, so this has been a months-long process. And now we bring the contract because it's timely. Because if the board does give us the authority and the green light to place a measure on the ballot for November 2026, we need to get going on that work. And so we've done our homework. And so this is the best firm that we believe will get that work done.
Can I ask another question? Have we worked with this firm before?
We as a district have not, but Assistant Superintendent Cheng has. In his previous district, he helped pass bonds. How many bonds? Oh my gosh.
2 bonds and a parcel extension, parcel tax.
And he also most recently helped Eastside Union High School District pass its parcel tax, and they have been trying for a long time. So he has a great record of success.
So it's not the same firm that we hired, or I was an employee at the time who decided asking the voters for $900 million would be a good idea. I just want to clarify that
Not
on the
that,
record.
no.
Okay, all right, good.
having been here through that, I'm very happy to say this is new advice. And this is a topic that will require a lot of board discussion. And I believe we need the best expertise to advise us as we go through these decisions possible. And you can only get a little bit of that expertise for free. That's how that whole world works. You have to bring on some experts. And again, I still have the scars for Measure I. I'm the only one up here that was up here when we went through that. And that asking for $900 million was a terrible mistake. We've learned a lot as an organization. I've learned a lot as an individual. I had misgivings at the time about such a big number and was talked by the then consultants into that it would be fine, and it was not fine. So no, this is not the same people, and I'm glad of it. Just being very, very blunt sometimes gets me in trouble, but I do personally believe we need to approve this and get moving. You know, that doesn't mean we're going to make a particular ask. They also have some ideas of we can. There's actually some opportunities to lower the cost of the bonds that are out there right now by doing some refinancing. That's something we need to look at, but I'm certainly of a mind to approve this so we can keep moving forward, knowing it's not $90,000 all up front. That's just to get them engaged with us. Other questions, comments? I see you raising your hand, Trustee Altman. Okay, you're touching your microphone. I wasn't sure. Okay, very good. Well, that said, do we have a motion on this item? Yeah, anyone can. Okay, so Vice President Andrade is moving that we approve this item that's been pulled from consent? Huh? No. Yeah, no problem. Do we have a second? Thank you, Trustee Northrup Gaddis. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed or abstaining, please say so. Nay from Trustee Altman? Okay, so that passes by a vote of 5-1 and then 1 absent. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll move on to item K, general business. We only have 2 items left here. We're moving right along. The first item is the reappointment of our board-appointed Personnel Commission. Just so folks know, the Personnel Commission, the board appoints one person, the affected union appoints one person, and those 2 people appoint a 3rd person. So Assistant Superintendent Tavares, please take us away.
Good evening, trustees. We have been very fortunate to have Mr. Don Moody as the appointee that represents the commission that the board appointed, and he's been doing a marvelous job over the past 3 years, helping kind of make sure that classified employees are heard and that the process is fair, and listening to both employees and the union. And we're making quite a few strides in rewriting, updating the Personnel Commission rules and regulations, and he's a key part of those revisions. So with that, we would like to recommend that the Board of Education reappoint Mr. Moody so that we can continue the good work that he's helping to lead.
Can you remind me of these 2-year terms or 4-year terms?
3.
3-year term, well, I should have said how long is the term instead of putting numbers. Thank you. Trustee Altman, please.
I move that we appoint Don Moody as our commission rep.
And thank you. And second from Vice President Andrade, I'll say he's done a magnificent job. I fully support that. So all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? Seeing none, we'll move on. We're back to Assistant Superintendent Chang to give us a budget update. This is based on when we approved our budget. Since then, there have been changes from the state because that's how this works. So he's going to bring us up to date on those changes. And this is an information item. There's nothing to vote on here this evening.
Okay, thank you.
You have the floor. It's all
Thank
you.
So tonight we're gonna give you a very brief update in terms of what changes from the adopted budget to the point where the state approved their budget sometime back at the end of June. So we're gonna focus on really two main areas that were still outstanding, and we weren't sure what the outcome was gonna be when we adopted budget and subsequently when the state approved their budget. So a bit of a good news that some of those changes were positive in our favor. Next slide, please. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. There you go. Okay, thank you. Okay, so the two key items that we want to focus on is first of all, the one-time money, which is called the Student Support and Professional Development Discretionary Block Grant. Okay, so at May Revise, the state did propose a $300 per ADA, which comes out to a little over $2.1 million. At the enacted budget, that slightly increased. So there was an increase to about $2.279 million, an increase of about $98,000. So that's adjusted and will be reflected in a later slide. The next item is the LCFF, the local control funding formula for the TK add-on rate. At the May Revise, that rate was $3,148. Fortunately, the state did approve the higher rate that was in the proposal, and that rate is $5,545. Next slide, please. So this slide shows the impact of the higher TK add-on rate. So you'll see that in year 25-26, with the higher TK add-on rate, it's going to yield us a little over $769,000. In year 26-27, there's an increase in our LCFF dollars to the tune of about $879,000. And then in year 27-28, there's an increase of about $771,000 in LCFF dollars. Next slide, please. This slide just shows you what the board adopted at budget adoption. This is the multi-year projection for the unrestricted general fund. This is to give you a background in terms of what that budget looked like. And we're just going to focus on the reserve percentage that was adopted back in June. In year 24-25, which is last fiscal year, that reserve percentage was 25.32. In year 25-26, 17.44. Year 26-27, 9.99. And then year 27-28, 3.05. Next slide, please. So with the changes in those two key items, again, we're just going to focus on the reserve level. In year 24-25, since no changes, it remains the same at 25%, 25.32%. In year 25-26, the reserve percentage is 18.05. In year 26-27, the reserve is at 11.24. And then in year 27-28, the reserve percentage is projected to be at 4.84. Next slide, please. So I know this is very brief, but in a couple of weeks, we're going to be bringing the board the unaudited actuals. This is a report that shows how the districts did or ended last year's fiscal year. So fiscal team right now is working around the clock to close the books and to be able to present that report to the board on September 4th. With that, I'll take any questions that you have.
Questions? Did you have a question, Trustee Altman? Oh, okay. I have one. So when we adopted the budget, we had to send to the county, our adopted budget. Do we send them an update now, or does that, with this information, or does that not happen until the first interim?
Yes,
Okay.
the county is still reviewing the initial budget that we sent them, and so we're anticipating response from them sometime mid-September.
Okay.
But the next really big update is going to happen in December when we present our first interim.
So when will we see the unaudited or actuals for this past year?
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. So in
Yes.
2 weeks, we'll see what really happened this last week.
That is
And then sometime later, the auditors will say whether they concur with that, right? And then in December is our next kind of major time to look into the budget for this year. At what point do we start talking about the details of the following year's budget?
Very soon, as soon as we're done with on our shelves, the team's going to be working on, plans for the next year and future years as well. And so, we want to be able to come back in December and give a very comprehensive plan to the board about, future programs, future staffing, and all those good stuff.
And this contract we just approved with the financial advisor, at what point do we expect to see some preliminary results from that work?
That should begin very soon, sometime in September. So there's going to be some analysis that's going to need to be done. The bulk of the work is probably not going to happen until the spring of '26. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why I'm asking that's pretty obvious. Like, so what happens the next 2 school years? If we're in a position to ask the voters for support or not, changes things. So those two elements have some relationship to each other.
Yeah. So in our backward mapping, we're preparing for the November 26 election. And so working from that date, we have to set a runway in terms of what kind of research we need to do to conduct with our community, what kind of reports to present to the board, the timelines that we need to file with the county so that we can get on the ballot itself. And so all that stuff's going to happen between now and November. And I believe the key deadline or the key timeline is August, is when the official date to file to be able to be put on the ballot.
August of '26.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
As an initial next immediate step, though, Dale Scott will be assisting us with the refinancing of one of the series. And so that will help to save the taxpayer dollars with Measure G, which continues. Measure G has been such a blessing in our community. You saw some of the updates at Britain and other schools, and it's imperative that we continue that effort at all schools, and we can't do that without a bond. And so Dale will be helping us refinance one of the series.
Okay, we're going to be talking about money a lot this year. There are a lot of different moving parts: workforce housing, bonds, parcel taxes, budgets, what happens in the states and the feds. We're going to be talking about money all year. Please, Trustee Altman, and then did I see the other hand over here?
Okay, I'm making statements, not questions exactly. At our August 1st, 2024 retreat, you might remember it, President Horner, it was very long. We had the consultants, Michael and Greg, I think. I forgot the name of their company, though. And one thing we did at that meeting was we unanimously decided to add a 4th column on for the Budget Advisory Committee work because we felt that 4th year out was incredibly relevant. And so I would love to, I understand it's less accurate, but we had unanimously before decided it gives us relevant information. For instance, when I look at these numbers now, if we, on our 3rd year out, we're going to be deficit spending $8,900,000+. So to stay positive, it looks like we would need to cut like $7 million if something good doesn't happen. That's why that 4th year out is really relevant, because that's when we're going to be over the cliff. So I'm requesting that for the updates, we get that 4th year out, and also we see what the cuts would have to be to keep us at the 10% minimum reserves that we had voted on in here. So those are my 2 requests.
Understood. Okay. We can't formally take action on that, but I think you heard loud and clear in this context. Anything else?
Can I ask a clarifying question?
Please.
So just to be clear about the, because we're talking about, now we're going back to bond, and so the consultant fee, you had said we're not paying anything out. It's contingent, correct? Okay, I just wanted, it's contingent, but the first order of business is refinancing to save taxpayer money and save the district money. And then
following up. Okay, just wanted to clarify.
Anything else on this item? Yes, trustee Munson. And then we'll come to you.
Okay, sorry.
No
A
problem.
little bit sick, but, I mean, we are gonna pay him for certain things that he does, right? I mean, okay, I just, it's not that we're not gonna pay him the whole 90, and whatever he does, we pay him for his work. If it doesn't get past, then we don't pay like whatever that chunk is, right?
Right, maybe the question is, what's the cost for the first analysis that we'll see that isn't contingent?
Yeah, I mean, if we ask him to do, a voter survey, I believe the amount on that's about $17,000. Yeah. But
If we go through
ask
with the
him,
voters,
yes,
all right.
if we have the firm to do it, yeah. But we,
It's not 100% contingent,
Yeah.
for clarification.
We will be asking him to work.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
Good clarification. Appreciate the clarification, yeah.
Yeah, it was just a clarification, because from what I heard just now, it sounded like we weren't gonna pay him unless it was passed, but we are gonna pay him. We're just-
Some,
Yeah.
yeah.
I understand.
Please, trustee Marquez.
Yes, on the, for the state revenue for 25, 26, it is that, it's highlighted in yellow, it's that increase on slide 6.
it's like that. So anyway,
Right. I think the question is, wow, that's a big jump.
Right. Can
What's that all about?
Yeah,
And
can
and
you
then the
elaborate
implied
on
question
that?
is, might we see that again? Reading into your question.
Right, exactly.
So that's the other state revenue, 25, 26, the 4.94 million. Whoop, we lost the slide up there. There we go.
there you go.
There we go.
Okay, so if you're comparing it to 24, 25, you'll see that for that line item is 2.5. And then in 25, 26, you see it jump to 4.9. That reflects the one-time money that I mentioned, the $2.2 million in that student support professional development discretionary block grant. It's a one-time money. And that's why you see the increase in 25, 26, and then drops back to kind of the standard level, the normal level in year 26, 27, and 27, 28. So it's a one-time money that we're anticipating on getting this year. But again, it's one-time money, so we have to, it's not ongoing, so we need to level back down to what we typically receive on a normal year.
Okay.
Yeah.
If just I could add an observation from having learned too much about how Sacramento does this stuff these days. So the one-time discretionary block grant, it's kind of upside down world talk, right? So there's some suggestions on how you should use it, but you can actually use it for anything educational. And then if you ask legislators, well, will we see this again? Well, we really hope to do that every year, but we're not sure we're going to do it every year. So we're calling it one time and then maybe another time. So it makes the work of actually planning our budgets very hard. So Assistant Superintendent Chang is doing the right thing. It's like, they've only committed to this year, so we're only counting on it for this year. If we did probabilistic budgeting, that would be another whole, like, through the looking glass world. But there's a good chance there will be more, but then who knows what happens to the economy. So they do these things, but they don't want to, like, say it's part of your new guarantee, but you get it this time and maybe again.
Okay.
So it creates a lot of stress.
Thank you for the
But you better use it.
Yeah.
But you might lose it.
Yeah. Thank you for the clarification.
Is that fair?
That is fair, and they're getting very creative and difficult with their acronyms or their naming of the one-time money.
It creates a lot of tension too. So are those restricted funds or unrestricted funds? We had a little bit of confusion here as things are bouncing back and forth between like, well, how tight are the restrictions and then where do they go? And it's I don't know how y'all deal with it. It's crazy. Okay, anything else on this topic? Any other questions? If none, thank you very much, Mr. Chang.
Thank you.
We will move on to any requests for new business future agenda items. That's all that's between us and adjourning. Trustee Altman, please.
At our last retreat, we had discussed having monthly expense accounting on our agendas, and I would like us to visit that, please.
Monthly expense accounting on our agendas.
Oh,
I'm not following, I'm missing something.
The accounts payable included, Rebecca's, Trustee Munson sent us what Oak Grove does. It's common practice for many districts in the area to include monthly expenses as part of their agendas. Is it on the agenda or does it just come out once a month?
I mean,
Just,
have you provided a copy? to
She
staff
did.
of that? Sorry? She emailed it to us. Oh, okay, yeah, it's, I can't remember.
yeah. It was right after our retreat.
Yeah. Okay, we'll take another look at that. Any other?
Like a
Yeah.
summary, it's just like a
Yeah.
little summary.
No, it was at our, in our June retreat.
Just a little summary of what
Yeah,
happened.
yeah, okay.
It was a summary of expenditures. It was basically a temperature check of where we're, like, this is where we are right now. Like a snapshot. Correct? Yeah, snapshot.
All right, so let's ask staff to have a look at that and we can revisit it. Thank you for the reminder. Seems like 100 years ago, it was only a few weeks. Any other items? Seeing none, at 7:41, we will adjourn, and hopefully it's a little cooler outside. Thank you all for your participation.
I was going to request we have cake and awards at every meeting, but